would help if I removed the lens cap I had on. Anywho, yes, we're live. We are going to be playing Slay the Princess, Sandry, and I want to say something. It's not really a horror game because that's what it's going to be looking like when we first start playing. But a person that I found more recently actually like changed this game's perspective from me. It changed it from, just like an okay a horror game to like an actual game that's like a huge allegory for like relationships between people, both good and bad.
How difficult is it to slay a princess? Because it seems to me that when she's chained up, it's pretty easy. You get an axe and the problem is solved.
Indeed, and that question will be answered, Sandry. I have to say that this is a game you only experience once, and I have experienced this game already before they added, quote, the Pristine Cut DLC. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, and I'm going to just get the, quote, good ending. So that way we can get that out of the way, all right, Sandry? But that way you can also get an idea about what the game is like, and then we can actually get into actually playing the game, okay?
Okay.
So I am just going to show you what the, quote, good ending is, and then we can ignore that for the rest of the game. So, new game. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess. There will not be much reading you and I do.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
This game has 99% voice acting, and the 1% that isn't, there's a reason why it's not voice acted.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm just going to go ahead and put an auto, so that way it goes at a good pace. Alright, so as you can see, there's like a lot of options here. And we're going to go over these options when I release the reins and let you explore. So right now, the narrator said, you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Sweet, I've always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la revolution.
That's the spirit. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
I'm going to pause it real quick. This is the voice of the hero. He will follow us through like most of the game. And the voice of the hero is just like, I guess you could call it an inner representation. I don't want to spoil too much, right? But, you can tell what he is based off both his name and the way he's acting in this one sentence, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
And the quote, the narrator hears the voice of the hero. He like literally responded to the voice of the hero. So there are some literary devices that I think you could already see. Just a reminder, books, and therefore the narrator of the books, can and will lie. They don't always have to be telling the truth.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I will take the blade. Yoink.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter the basement. So you notice my cursor is changed to holding a knife.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
We are not going to say anything, and this is important. Even, like, the decision to, like, do the explore actions could change your ending, by the way. I am going to continue down the
You're
stairs.
still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Still your nerves and step forward. I am not going to do any of these other actions.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
I've got a
You probably
blade,
chained
and
up
you
in this
don't.
basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Slay the princess.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it?
By the way, we still haven't reached the good
I'm
ending.
almost embarrassed.
There are other
I
ways
should've
that it
seen
can
that coming.
unravel
But
from
I
here.
have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
See, I call on the power of Claire Stanfield here, and we'll solve this problem.
Of course it is. She's dead.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done,
And what do you
make
mean by
your
Claire
way back up the
Stanfield?
stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you.
Sorry, say what?
So what do you mean by Claire Stanfield here?
Vino.
What?
Do you know who Claire Stanfield is?
No.
Okay, he is a hitman in the anime in the light novel Bakano.
Oh, okay.
And-
Then I know who it is. I just don't remember the character.
His big thing is he's an assassin who rips people into very tiny pieces and soaks them in gore, but he wants to make sure they're dead.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we're going for the good ending, but you've already got an idea about the flow of this game from what I'm doing here, right? And kind of like the setup and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah.
do I feel like we've done something terrible?
I'm just going to tell you, we
You
still
did
haven't
kill
hit the good
someone.
ending yet.
Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
Leave.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy.
You'll
be happy.
Oh, and I know you, Sandry. That line has made you absolutely, like, your hackles are up.
I am suspicious, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey, we're not just going to stay here forever, right?
Yep, even at this point, there's still a way out. Of course we are. I like it here.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices' pleas fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
We did it, Sandry! We got the good ending! And if I didn't have the achievement already, literally at that point the achievement pops up saying, good ending! You did it!
What the fuck did I just watch, John?
The good ending. Trust me when I say there's a lot more to it when we actually play the game, alright?
I have to tell you, it is impressive how a game can both mildly disturb me and also make me just go, I don't care.
But like I said, that's the good ending, that's the meaningless ending, we got it out of the way.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. It's slightly creepy, but I just...
There's a lot more
fuck.
to it, trust me. You do
John,
trust
that
me.
John, that requires me wanting to engage, and I don't. There's nothing about it that's appealing. It's just, oh, look. Like, why would I care to talk to her? Just strangle her with a fucking chain. I'm there to kill a princess. I'm doing my job.
I mean, like I said, you need to explore the other options.
I don't need to do anything, John. You're not going to win me on this one. I don't find this entertaining.
Would you kindly at least give it one pass through? That's not the good end.
Fine.
Alright. Return to the main menu. Alright. So we're going to hit new game again.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay.
Okay, so you're on the path in the woods. You found you're here to slay her. So, starting here, this is about exploring your narratives. Okay. So, are you reading these options to the right hand side while I'm scrolling through them?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there any of these that you are interested in hearing the answer to? The end of the world? What are you talking about?
A little bit.
What? Okay.
Go down a little more. There we go. Have you considered the video? I'm okay with the end of the world.
Okay.
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Right.
I don't know. Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Okay.
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
But yes, Like getting your rocks off. Though you have to be a Terry Pratchett fan to get that reference. Okay, thanks for telling me what to do.
Okay, thanks for telling me what to do.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
So, in future loops, we'll speed through a lot more
The
of this,
interior
but
of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer
It's
of
incredibly
dust.
familiar.
The only furniture of note
yes,
is a
it
plain
will
wooden
change,
table.
trust me.
Perched
No,
on
no,
that
not
table
that.
is a
What?
pristine blade. The blade
The
is your implement.
something
You'll need
a bit
it
of the
if
art
you want
style,
to
but
do this
very
right.
much the narrator and the narrating style feels
Okay.
very familiar, and I can't place it. That wasn't sarcasm. It feels familiar, and I can't place it.
This is your first, well, technically you already passed your first choice that you could have made, but this is your first, choice here. Do we take
Grab
the blade?
If I'm here to stab somebody, I'd like to have a blade with
You
me.
take the blade from the table.
Okay.
It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Into the basement.
But yeah, no, there's just something about
The
this
door
that
to the
feels
basement
incredibly
creaks
familiar, and I
open,
can't place it.
revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
So,
I'm sorry, I can't read the first option. What's the first option there?
hi.
Hey, I think I'm here to kill you.
Okay.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
The narrator's just sarcastically, good luck, hero. I love the
You walk
narrator.
down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Yep, wasn't a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke. All right.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare.
Oh, the
It's
narrator's
fine.
telling you
We can
don't do
decide
it.
what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Titan grip.
Okay.
There
You
appears to be
ignore
a
the trembling in
flaw
your hands.
in
Just tighten your grip
the
on the
hero's
blade.
thought process.
Mm-hmm.
No
You
one said
poor
she was a monster.
thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you
Mm-hmm.
scared of me?
All
Because
it
you
was,
should be.
he has to die to save the world.
You step forward.
No one said anything
your
about
grip
her
on the
being
blade
actively
tightening as
causing
you
the end of
steel
it.
your resolve.
Right.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
I'm not dropping the blade.
Are you just going to go straight for I'm not dropping? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm not talking to you.
All right, let's squint.
All right.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back. The two of you are going to do this forever, aren't you?
Squint harder.
All right.
Squint even harder. So does she. At least nobody's dying right now. You're going to have to make a choice. You can't keep squinting forever. Eventually, someone is going to have to blink.
All right, stabber.
All right.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing.
By the way, I do have to say this. There
Your
is a
blade
chapter
slashes
2.
through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Interesting. I note the hand.
Which hand? Oh, our hand?
The hand that is not human.
Hmm.
Finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted.
I know which ending you're going
You
to
probably
get.
won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
A Stanley parable? No, not really, but, you know, sort
Fall
of.
to the floor.
Also, hi, Brian.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2. We are still in the same throughput.
You're
The
on
adversary.
a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Yeah.
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Hold on a second. Let me
You're
switch
here to slay her.
this.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
And then start this so Sandry can see if they want to the chat. The narrator who tells you what to do, you ignore their instructions. You and the narrator both trapped in a fruit loop. Yeah, something like that. All right, so you'll notice things are a heck of a lot different because at least from the very first action, your character remembers. And things will be much different going forward, Sandry.
But I already slew the princess.
Did you? But I already slew the princess.
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It
Voice
doesn't
of the
matter if you
stubborn.
can hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning. That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill.
Why should I bother doing anything?
Alright, let's assume I'm telling the truth that all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I
Those are
bother
two
doing anything?
very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We did our best with the information we were given, and we did kill her. And yet you still died, didn't you? So congratulations, you've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We killed the princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? Ugh, enough with the talking. We've got a fight to win. Nothing else matters. I couldn't agree more. The cabin and your destined confrontation with the princess awaits.
Sure, let's go to the cabin.
Alright.
A warning before you go any further.
Oh boy.
She will lie.
She will cheat, and she'll do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Yeah, I've heard this before, asshole.
Don't believe a word she
Yeah,
says.
but the voice of the stubborn
Lying
will
and
add to
cheating
this.
doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a
So,
fight.
I'm watching a therapist play this game,
Are you
and
sure about
he
that?
talks about this route as a route of
The point of
codependence.
my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
My thoughts exactly.
Okay, proceed to the cabin.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
I've been what to some
See?
degree?
Even the cabin has the right idea. Let's get moving. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Oh, this is a game you only experience once. I've already experienced this game
Let's take
long
the
ago,
blade.
Brian. Okay. You don't want to do anything with the mirror?
Nope,
I
I'm going to
take
take the
the
blade
blade
and
from
I'm
the
going to
altar.
go have a chat.
It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Okay. You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You already wasted so much time in the woods. Who even cares if there's a mirror?
Approach the mirror.
Okay.
Nothing like telling me Nothing like telling me it doesn't exist to make me
Walk
check.
up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone, so all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting.
Let's go down to the basement.
Okay.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulphuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening. Good. Sounds like my kind of princess. As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you.
Ryan!
Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, a large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
She's looking a little bit different, don't you think?
Oh, it's you again.
But
I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
you know, I was going to talk with you, but I'm gonna go with I hope you heard that, Mr. Narrator.
I hope you heard all that, Mr. Narrator. This is a lot different than the last time, but it definitely happened.
Fine. Let's say for a moment I believe you. For all we know, whatever happened to you last time was just a fluke, and beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember what happened last time. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Scroll down. Stab. Attack the princess.
Attack the princess. Okay. Now I definitely know what ending you're getting.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count. Oh, we'll make it count, all right. As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement floor. You can hear her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact. She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win. She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action.
Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
Go for the heart, please.
Go for the heart.
If that's your plan, then that's your plan. You push off the ground, ignoring the pain in your ribs as you charge at the princess once more. You can feel flesh give way before a sudden impact blunts your momentum, your weapon tightly lodged in the bone of her arm. She grins at you from behind her guard. Pull it out. We'll try a different angle.
No, we can do this. Just keep pushing.
We're not gonna win if our weapon's stuck in her arm.
I'll keep pushing.
All right.
The princess's grin widens as the two of you push against each other, her fiery eyes and masochistic glee practically lighting up the dreary cave.
Yes, you finally get it, don't you?
Silently continue pushing.
Yes, you're right. We don't even need to talk about it.
Your balance is suddenly thrown off as the princess pulls you into her knee. It collides with your ribs, and you feel them splinter, cracking like wet wood from the impact.
Ooh.
We're fine.
But you barely have enough time to notice before the princess follows up and smashes her forehead against yours. Your grip loosens from the impact, the blade still wedged in her arm as you tumble to the cold stone floor.
I said we're fine.
I didn't say you weren't fine. I was just describing what happened. You might not have said as much, but you certainly implied it. It really doesn't matter. The princess glances down at the blade embedded in her arm, and with near total ignorance to pain, slides it out of its sinewy prison.
You forgot this.
She tosses it at your feet.
Pick up the blade and attack her again. I will see this person on my blade.
Okay.
You and the princess attack each other once again, each of you dealing a single, terrible, lethal blow. Wait, does that mean we're dead? Or rather, about to be dead. As your blade pierces her sternum, the princess buries her fist into the soft meat of your organs. You feel a few horrifically painful pops, a gush of fluid, and it's over. It's finally over.
No, it's not. We're just getting started.
But it is over. Dead is dead. I know this isn't the happiest ending for you, but you saved the entire world from ruin. There are few better endings than that.
Well, are you going to listen to him? Or are you going to listen to me? Get up.
Well.
Sure, I guess we're getting up.
Wait, no, that can't be right. Your eyes bolt open.
Okay,
and you
this
push
is
yourself
actually
back
new,
to your
I think.
feet,
I don't recognize this one.
alive.
I told you. I told you this wasn't over.
What about her? The blade went right through her heart.
What about her? If we're fine, then she's fine.
No, she's dead. She has to be. No!
Right. We're all shit out of luck, aren't we? I knew it. I told you we should all believe in her. This is perfect.
The princess rises from the ground, staggering slightly, one hand wrapped around the hilt of the blade still buried in her heart.
We don't even need to start over anymore, do we? Let's go again.
She pulls the weapon from her chest, barely wincing, and hurls it at your feet.
You know what to do. Again.
You sure like listening to the voice of stubbornness, don't
What's
you,
the point
Sandry?
of fighting her if she can just do that? All of you need to settle down. This whole situation is coming dangerously close to untethering. She clearly never actually died. You just missed her heart, that's all.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we just missed her heart. Oh, of course, that's all. You were the one who said we hit her heart. You were the one who said it was finally over. Well, I guess I had it wrong. You guess you had it wrong? Aren't you supposed to know everything? I never said I knew everything.
Attack her again.
Oh, you're not even going to explore what this untethering
Nope,
is?
murder.
All right, murder!
With unbreakable determination, you snatch the blade from the floor and stumble back to your feet. Both you and the princess quake with adrenaline as your eyes lock across the basement floor and share a knowing look.
The fun part is that I know why the narrator says certain
Free from
things.
hesitation, you close the distance, both you and the princess aiming to end each other. Your blade digs into her neck, grinding against her vertebrae as her fist connects with your body. The impact forces the air from your lungs, stars dancing in front of your eyes as you fail to keep your bearing. You both collapse to the ground before either of you has a chance to survey the damage.
And then we get up.
Yep,
Ooh.
up we get.
Yes. And then you get up.
Interesting.
That was a good one. More.
Yeah, I actually never
Play the
got.
princess.
I don't think I ever got this specific ending. If this
You and
ending was
princess
in the
exchange
original,
Dozens of devastating blows. Sometimes you manage to strike first, and sometimes she tears through you before you have a chance to act. But more often than not, each of you fells the other in the same moment. And then you get up and do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
oh no, Sandry's nowhere close to
We're all still
the
here.
ending.
This is all gonna be okay. Isn't it? Isn't it?
But he doesn't answer the voice. He's gone.
What are you waiting for? I'm right here. Do you think this is... What is this place?
Did we do this?
Now,
I didn't think we had it in us. But I
now
guess that's
this
stuck-up control freak was
should look familiar to something else we've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of the
Yeah,
world.
it's the end of the
isn't it?
world.
It's the end of everything.
Far from
Nope,
it.
it's not the end of
We're
the world.
still here. And she's still here too.
The princess stumbles and her body slumps.
I feel so... tired.
Chin up. Isn't this just what you wanted?
Just you and me forever?
Well, that was a rough shift.
Yes, welcome to the greater story, Sandry, the actual story of this game. You do not have an opportunity to respond. Something has taken her away, and it's left something else in her stead.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Let's go take a look at the mirror.
Okay.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Mirror never scared you before.
It's different now. It feels... I don't know. Final.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
By the way, Sandry, I will repeat, this is the actual story. Those chapters are nothing but setup. You approach the mirror. I shall gaze into your own reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. So if you'll notice the parallax in the background, it's going to be very similar to a parallax you've already seen. There's a reason why it says proceed to the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
You are at the cabin. Again, the parallax in the background and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Approach her.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
I would recommend you do explore a few of these.
The gift of the fragile vessel?
The second option, okay?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one yearns to grow and struggle. Even now I feel a will pushing against mine, not realizing that we are one. She will make for a bold heart. Do not mourn her. We will provide her with the growth she fought for.
Do you know the narrator?
Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Are you what sent me here to slay the princess?
Okay. Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Are you the princess?
Okay.
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or were you just making yourself her
You
part?
speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Since you asked, yes. Okay, what happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Scroll down a little bit?
There's new options, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Scroll down a
Okay.
little bit. Oh, I guess that's not... Okay. How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
At this point, you can't.
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
In fact, even if you go down the true ending route I showed you, it won't let you.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
We're not doing I'm going back, because if we actually follow through with that, it'll just reset the game.
Sure. How much will I forget?
Everything, until we meet again.
I sent to save the princess.
Okay.
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Being semantic, what are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
I guess we're stuck with okay, make me forget.
Yeah, I'm not going back. Literally, we'll say, well, then I'll see you when you come back, and then it just ends the game, and then just boots right back up to here when you come back. So,
I see.
you know, it's we could go through with that, but it's like I don't want to mess with OBS right now. Okay, make me forget. By the way, the glass shattering you're about to hear is important.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Yes. The, doing a path to conclusion, and at this point your character does not remember. Like, this is the character does not remember the previous pass, as, you know, described by her, right? But, you know, that is the start of the actual story. If we keep going, I guarantee you will be able to complete this in 2 weeks.
It doesn't really interest me. It really doesn't. Like, it's not that it's not well written, well acted, but it's not a game that I particularly enjoy.
Well, I mean, I get it, but like I said, I just...
No, I get what you're saying. It's just, it doesn't really appeal to me as a game. I mean, everything about it in terms of its execution is excellent. It's just not appealing to me.
Mm.
Like, I don't know how else to put it. It's not, again, the acting is good, the writing is good, the atmosphere is excellent. It's just not my kind of game.
I mean, I understand there isn't much, like, action to the game, right? I don't know. Like I enjoy exploring the routes, because like I said, you managed to find one that I didn't find at all.
No, I get that. It's just, it doesn't happen to appeal to me all that much.
Well... Well, Sandri, what is it you wish to do here? Because I really do feel like continuing to, like, show this game to you, but I also understand if you just absolutely hate it so much you don't want to see it.
It's less a matter of hating it. It's more just, it's not something I particularly. I don't have any particular engagement with it. It doesn't. I'm trying to explain. I'm not doing a good job of explaining, but it's just not really. I'm not that intrigued by the greater story. I think that's really it. All of the bits are good. It just doesn't pull me in.
I mean. You have already asked a couple of questions that are only answerable if you actually complete the story. 'Cause you were like, there's a couple of times where you have pointed out the narrator acted in a way that you didn't, like, think the narrator should act with. And those are only answered by actually, like, going forward. I mean, we can do something, we can do what I was planning to do to just fill in a little bit of time, which was show you endings that I remember fondly, but at the same time, if you don't want to sit through it, I don't want to force you, but at the same time, I still want to keep exploring the game.
I get that. It just doesn't do anything for me. It's something where at some point I might find I might go and find a playthrough of it that's just on its own, but like in general, it doesn't. It's just not. It's just not my kind of game.
Right. So I'm saying, what do you want to do here? Because
I don't have a lot of ideas. I certainly don't have a lot of ideas that are good for like 2 weeks. Did you make any progress on Triangle Strategy, by the way?
some. Mostly catching up old characters. The last couple of weeks have been absolutely maddening for me in terms of like stuff.
No, look, I get it. Life happens. Like, it's normal.
But something else to think about, all right, is this game, like Brian had said earlier, right, is just like Stanley Parable, it is an exploration about choice, right?
Even Stanley Parable didn't appeal to me either.
I didn't say it would. I was just talking about like what part of it is, right? It's an exploration of choice, and the reason why, in the one you went through, right, the one we went through with finding, there's a certain name of that vessel. Hold on a second. So this vessel is the adversary. Okay. So going through the adversary, that vessel, the reason why we got that was because we hesitated along the way there. We didn't go in straight for the kill. We didn't do other stuff. So, like, I don't know. It's in case you're wondering why. Oh no, specifically that time she fought back, whereas the time where I just went straight for the kill, she didn't. Well,
I'm not surprised. It didn't surprise me that she fought back like that.
Yeah.
But the problem with this sort of game is that there's too many ways to end up in the same cycle. Well, one of the problems. There's too many ways to end up in the same cycle, and that's...
Oh, no, you're not going to be able to end up in the same cycle. The game locks you out of the same cycle. You will not be able to enter into the same cycle multiple times.
I'm trying to decide if that makes it better. And I mean, it makes it less bad, but I'm not sure it really makes a difference. Like, it's just not me.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying you want to turn around and leave?
Sure, let's do that.
All right.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know
I
what
accidentally
he's
skipped
talking
that.
about.
My mistake. So the voice of the hero said, "Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it."
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Turn around again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
You think everyone maybe should die?
Yes.
It's what they get for dumping me in the woods and asking me to kill
When
someone
I
for
said
them?
everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess. And, last I checked, you're part of everyone too, so if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have
Or
to say,
astrology? I
it
forgot you
seems
said
like
that
the
line.
universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
I mean, you already know what I'm going to say, right?
Oh yeah? Well, I guess I start walking in a different direction again. In fact, I'm just going to keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who has ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
So I'm going to state something that I think you should think about while going through this. You might think the narrator is causing this to happen, right? But remember, the narrator said you stab her heart and she dies. And she didn't. The narrator is not omniscient. The narrator is not in control.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
Well spotted, asshole.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Uh-oh, the stranger.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Let's see here. Let's see here.
Oh, you bastard.
You're in for it now. I'm wise to
My
your tricks.
Tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking.
I love the
He's
voice of the
an active
contrarian.
audience. The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
So yes, the contrarian has joined us on this one, not the voice of the stubborn.
Oh, I see. Is there a place where I can just not leave? Rather, where I can just not go anyway? Stay in the woods forever?
Yes, but that doesn't feel... I think this abandons the meta story. I mean, we can click it if you want to, but it does abandon the meta story.
Fine, let's proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie.
She will lie,
she will cheat,
and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Don't believe. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it.
So the voice of the contrarian is a nice guy, isn't he?
Let's keep an open mind.
Yeah, let's go into the cabin.
You don't like the voice of the contrarian?
The interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Have you figured out where this where the narrator style reminds you of?
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
No, I can't place it.
If you want
Can't
us to
place
take
it. Okay.
maybe we should just leave it to collect dust.
I mean,
or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
Better yet, grab it and throw it out the window.
Taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, but when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart.
By the way,
lose yourself
while they're talking, I enjoy this room because this is the first time I've run across this room.
You've piqued my interest.
I enjoy this room for like how the parallax really fucks with, you know,
because you're going
like
to pull
because
yourself
none of
together.
the parallax works how you think it would.
Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good.
I gotta say,
Whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
the idea that like the
Let's go look at the mirror.
Okay. Approach the mirror. The
Walk
parallax.
up the wall
Okay,
next to the basement
it doesn't matter anymore.
It's
Here.
all. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
So,
Enter the basement.
oh, you're not even gonna take the blade?
Nope.
The contrarian said we could take it and throw it outside the window. That's fun. Just basement? Alright.
Yep.
Yeah, with the contrarian, you can actually take the
Door to
blade
the
and
basement
throw it out the
creaks
window.
open,
It's funny.
revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong. And the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you.
Oh, don't be such a baby.
I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon.
But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure.
And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success?
There'll still be plenty of ways to
Ruin his day.
Take the soft stairs.
Soft stairs, alright. We're taking
You
soft
step to the
stairs.
right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all.
What?
But soon enough,
It
you're
looks like
fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight.
Okay, I'm hearing T, but I know you're not saying T.
The softness
Molars.
threatens to swallow
Oh,
you whole,
teeth.
to wrest control of your body
Oh.
and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations
Ooh.
dull and then vanish.
I never noticed this
The only
mouse.
things experienced are the endless, repeating patterns and emotions of the
It's
journey.
not even the claw.
A continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways.
And in case you're wondering,
Princess, eyes bright but otherwise
I'm gonna pause
shrouded in
this.
darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here.
in case if you're curious, we've met the voice of the stubborn, we met the voice of the contrarian, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are more than one way to meet them and more than one ending to find them. The voices are a combination of your choices. I know for a fact that there's one choice that if you make it, you will, like, in a very grim, dark ending, get the voice of the voice of the romantic, I think is what it's called. And it's one of the few options that you can actually get to kiss the princess if you actually have him with you. But I'm just saying, like, you're not always guaranteed to get a certain voice on a certain route. It depends on some of the other choices you've made.
And why are we here again?
In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass. We remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
She has glowing eyes in the dark, dumbass. That is not normal. What's your name?
Okay.
You can call me Princess, if you'd like. Princess.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
So.
There's more of you now.
Oh, there's more of you now.
Need help? Not that there's much I can do chained up like this, but I'm the only one down here. So if you need anything, I'll do my best. And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
I love the voice actor for the princess, by the way.
I don't like where this is going.
She has a very good range, I believe.
Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? We could always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go back through those stairs. Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
Getting down here was weird.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to you.
You just like multiple princesses, don't you?
But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
Apparently you're a threat to the world?
You're apparently a threat to the world. I was sent here to slay you.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. You don't think I'm some sort of monster, do you?
Everything you've heard about me is true, and I'm going to lay waste to everything, starting with you.
This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. You can do this. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
So, this isn't a bug. It presents as 3 options. But this is not a bug, Sandry.
No, it's just you do all of them at once.
Oh,
Or you
yeah.
don't do anything.
That's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences.
I love the
It's a
contrarian.
little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
I don't think you're supposed to be fixed.
But you'll never know if she hears your reply. She is gone. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Oh, it's gonna be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before, and you always get scared.
Okay.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
I'll see you on the other side. It's gonna be okay.
Believe it or not, you're actually doing. You're actually making progress towards the "and they all like you" ending,
Okay.
like the actual true ending
If
of the
you
game,
say so.
like one of the true endings of the
I'll
game,
trust
right?
you. You're not messing with us, right?
If you reassure the voices every time, they like you. You get the "and they like you" like true ending if you go for a specific ending, right?
Cool. Approach the mirror.
And if you make them hate you every time, they will all hate you. You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. So, just a reminder, last time is like it's you, but this is going to change every time you look into the mirror. You've grown. Notice how the arm looks quite a bit different. Anyway, I didn't really have time to say that before it went away. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You are at the cabin.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement.
I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Are you the same being as before?
How much have you
Is a
changed?
child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Scroll down.
So that we didn't see this, by the
Yep.
way, but like she explains that if you go down the same routes, you won't give new perspectives.
I see. You have any thoughts on this vessel?
Yeah, I would always recommend clicking on that because it like
These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. They will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
if I'm going too fast, just let me know, okay?
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's 5 total, by the way.
You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
When this is all done, do you know what you want to do?
Oh, okay.
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
I'm ready to go back.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Hmm?
Destroy your body.
You raise your will to end your life, but as it buries into the space your body should be, you feel nothing at all. One of the many hands in front of you reaches forward and gently touches the side of your face.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
All right, send me back then.
You actually tried to off yourself, eh?
I will long
I was going to do
for
that
your
last time. It
return,
felt appropriate
but
for the
it will give
stubborn.
me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
And the glass shatters, everything goes dark, and you die. I'll
Your
speed
Honor,
through this.
you're
We've
here.
heard this enough. We heard that enough at this point. Especially when we're just doing the hero.
Yeah, I know. It's mostly, I don't really want to spend another hour and a half on this. I'm sorry, John, I really don't. It's not that's not entertaining in of itself, but it's just not doing it for me.
I don't know. Like you said earlier, and I agree, it is definitely very well written and explores its ideas. And a lot of it is only going to be fully communicated towards the end, of course.
Yeah, no, I get that. The problem is it's just not.
You know, like the metaphors that the arms, the metaphors that the arms give you. Sorry, I'm trying not to spoil the name of it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like I get it. And
Are hard to figure out, and why the narrator says certain things is also hard to figure out until the very end.
I get that. It's just not something I particularly want to devote time to.
I do find it interesting that you say you're willing to like see a playthrough, though. Like, but you're not willing to. But you're not willing to experience it.
If that makes any sense, I don't know how to put it, but basically, yes.
So, like the exploration does of like the different ways you can go does not interest you.
No.
Okay. Well, then, how about I do treat this as, I do treat this as, we are going, that I am going to, jump into a couple of endings that I find to be a little bit interesting for at least the remainder of this hour and a half.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind. I don't even mind the idea of watching. It's just not something I particularly find interesting to engage with.
Hmm. Well, hopefully,
but by all means, let the voices play out. Let it do its thing. It's just not. I don't know how to put it. It's just not. The exploring is not the interesting part to me.
Mm-hmm.
The writing is good. The atmosphere is good, but the actual interaction, for lack of a better word, just doesn't do anything for me.
Mm-hmm. All right. If that's the case, I'm going to explore a couple of endings that I find to be particularly interesting. Would that be okay? And you could provide commentary and stuff you find interesting?
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Then I will do a couple of endings I find interesting, and maybe I'll stumble into something I haven't seen before. Because again, like, for this game is all about the exploration. At least it is for me, right? And it has a pretty good story, so I will silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path. A warning. She will
Do
lie.
I? She will
cheat. We're not going to go through with this. Ignore it.
Yeah. That's fine. So, you've taken the dagger every single time that we've been here.
The air is stale and musty, and the
I am going to choose to not take the dagger.
Dust. The blade is your implement. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place.
So, I'm letting this play through because there is new dialogue here.
A hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Yeah, the narrator pretty much always
softly carries up the stairs.
Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Is someone there?
We haven't even seen her.
It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
We haven't even seen her, and it's already
part
different.
Of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
So, hi?
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
Remember,
one thing I will say.
Oh,
you walk down the stairs
pause the
and
narration
lock
then.
eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
One thing you'll say?
The thing that struck me back during the first cycle was the fact that she was down here looking not particularly malnourished, despite the layer of dust upstairs that suggests no one has come by recently. Who's just sitting there going, so why is she not starved to death by now? The answer is because she is a supernatural entity of some sort. Possibly.
Okay, but also, like even the decision to not take the blade, the princess comes off differently. Notice how she was soft this time, whereas every time you've taken the blade, she was stern and like, someone comes to visit me, right? But this time she's like, hello? Is anyone there? Like she softly responds to the fact that we didn't take the blade.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Okay. I'm going to examine the chains.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
No, you're doing the right thing.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm going to say, do you have any ideas if there isn't a key?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
But you'll notice exactly how innocent she
Or
is
if that doesn't work,
through
I
this
guess we can always
playthrough,
cut me
right?
out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Is someone else here?
Hey, let me out of here.
Shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Boy, the narrator really wants to kill the princess, doesn't he? Do you think you figured out why he is that way, though?
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Nope, not really.
Okay. Like, I'm aware of where the ending is, right? So I know the hints, but I will say the hints are there.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
And, since I know the narrator, I know why he says everything. We will save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
I don't know about you, but I could not remain
How is she
composed
still
in this
smiling
situation.
after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Do you think you would be able to?
Now let's get out of here.
By the way, I'm just going to point out, notice the hand, the blade, it has blood on it. Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Warn her!
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Don't you love these options that are just a million slay the princesses?
The blade! Move
Cedric?
the blade!
Yeah, no, I was
As your
just
body remains
amused.
frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
No.
The freaking...
I'm so sorry.
her right hand, I just...
Still,
Ugh!
we can
I
tough it
could
out
not
until it's
remain
done.
composed in that
For her
situation.
sake. For her sake. Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Damsel.
You're on a path in the... You're here.
Okay, let's see here. Wait, hasn't this already happened? I believe this will actually let us hear the new voice.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Okay, proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in. I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I have a question for you, Sandry. Do you like the voice of the smitten?
I speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled.
I do kind of want to punch him in the face, yes.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet.
Oh, God. I wish you knew the actor's name,
any mind.
but
Focus on the task.
the voice of the smitten reminds me of the not the character, but but it's the same. It's like a very similar voice style to. Have you ever watched the It Crowd and know like the second boss? You know what I'm talking about, or no?
Nope.
No. Okay. I'll see if I can figure out anything else he was in, but his voice reminds me exactly of that guy. Like, the narrator is all voiced by the same person, right? The narrator and the individual voices.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
And because I always like to hear what the voices say to the mirror, we'll approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
Oh, did I mess it up? I think I messed it up. Oh well.
You reach, but there was a mirror, and now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Interesting that he says a feather out of place, isn't it? Enter the basement.
Are we like some dinosaur
The
creature?
door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
So the voice of the spin, the princess can literally do no wrong.
The entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
I did bring a knife. Do I have to cut you out again?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
Alright.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
Alright. I know there is one way I can go from here, but I have to make this choice now, and I'm curious if you would want to see it. There's an ending here called the Deconstructed Damsel. But I can only get it if I continue to do something at this point.
I'm just along for the ride.
Alright. I'm sorry about what happened last time. The narrator who sent me here to kill you took over my body.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that
I'm just doing my
stride
best.
to a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone
perfection.
like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
What happened after I died?
You died, and now we're talking.
Rescued? But before we started talking, did the world end? Did you end the world?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
It's not a confession. No, I don't want the world to end.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything.
She is innocence itself. Not so sure.
I will rescue the princess.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it, but I guess I have to. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back, and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
What do you want to do?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I just want to leave. We can figure out the rest later.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs, hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair! We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
I think we can open it if we, try together.
Okay.
Power of friendship?
Let's
Power of friendship.
Calling on
Like
Maxwell?
a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. Blech. And
And
the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me? I told you our love was insurmountable.
Smitten,
You and the
never
princess
change.
Make your way upstairs, and the blade. That's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
Yeah. By the way, this was not here before the pristine cut. Nope, you're not doing that.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
And before you ask, we are not allowed to go
If
down
walking
this
out
route,
that
so we
door
can't
is
even
really
get back
gonna
here
end the
to
world,
do that.
Can't we all just stay here? Seems like an easy win for everyone. That's not how this works. Yes, what he said. That's not how this works. Obviously, we have to leave with her. It's our happy ending.
We're leaving.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin. And then you step outside. Our happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
But you don't get the chance to make that jacket, nor will you ever. It is time for you to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before, and you always get scared.
It feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
It's going to be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've withered. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
Let's see here. You can't be a contradiction. Contradictions don't exist.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
Everything you say feels like a riddle. Can you give me a straight answer?
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
What do you think of this vessel?
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
Alright, are there any of these that you're curious about, Sandry?
One of us always hurts the other.
Where's the one of us? Sorry,
That one.
This one? Oh, okay. At least one of us always hurts the other. Doesn't that change you? Doesn't that make you worse?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
I'm curious what your opinion. Do you resent her for these things?
No, it just sort of is what it is.
One of these two options sort of fit that.
Let's go with, I think it's I have no opinion.
No opinion one way or the other on the matter.
How strange of you to ask me then.
Again, any of these other options interest you?
Have you figured out what you want?
What you'll want when we finished. Okay.
The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me.
How many do you need?
We will know when we near our destination.
How can you stand to be a contradiction?
Okay.
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
I think that covers it.
Okay, ready to go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark and you die. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on your...
Yep. Alright. Sweet, I've always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la Revolution.
Spirit.
I think I've already showed you exactly where I'm going with this one.
Path, a warning.
You're just
Before
gonna
you go,
stab them
she
to
will
death
lie,
immediately?
She will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying.
We're not going to go through with this, right?
Two of my favorite endings are on this direction,
Slay them.
and I don't know if I can actually do them both in the we reconstruct those hands playthrough, but I'll see. But two of my favoriteest endings are in here.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls
Actually,
are painted
three?
in a fine layer of dust.
3.
The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement.
Yeah.
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I'm not too aware of the pristine cut endings because again I played this before that was a thing. Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table.
Notice how the
It'd be rather
audio
difficult to
changes,
slay
the music.
princess and save the world without it.
It goes silent and it'll be darker when we enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Oh,
She
right.
said, "Don't let
We've
it-"
definitely already seen this. Continue down the stairs.
You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Steel your nerves and step forward.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Slay the princess.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face.
But is it over? Really over?
Let me see here. Of course, it is. She's dead. If I remember correctly, it's this one. Yes, I'll go for.
Exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you.
Why do I feel like we've done something terrible?
You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience.
But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
Leave, and now...
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom.
And we don't find
Only
a world?
A world saved from certain doom.
We find
isn't what you find.
the long quiet.
Instead, what you
do
find
we not?
Is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine.
Yeah, okay. I was kind of hoping I'd get a better ending for saving
This
the world.
isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
Psst. Hey. We're not just going to stay here forever, right?
Can you hear the narrator? Let's see here. Hell no. Do you have any idea how to get us the heck out of here?
I do, but you're probably not going to like it.
The blade.
Does it involve jumping through a window?
We can use the blade to get out of this.
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero.
He's right. It's the only way out.
Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
Wouldn't using the blade, kill us? Wouldn't we be dead?
How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we'd die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
You better be right about this. I'll be pretty upset if we die.
If we die? You can yell at me all you want. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs.
I love that line. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything.
The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
Chapter 2. The Spectre.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end you're here.
Okay, again, I always like to have the voice say something.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Which voice did we get?
That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
The voice of the
For
cold.
whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. She won't be a problem.
Cold. The voice of the cold, by the way, is stone cold. Am I wrong here?
Not a very chatty sort.
The voice of the cold is pretty cool, I'd say so. Nah. I couldn't resist the pun.
You could, you just didn't.
The interior of the cabin is cold.
Because you're weak.
A soft odour of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
We don't have the cold's take on the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago. And now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly it's not even important enough to be acknowledged.
Alright, I'll take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here.
Don't you love how the stairway in like the whole room always changes every time?
You shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
It does set like the same scene but in a different context quite well, I
As you
think.
descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall.
Hey Sandra, we won!
Okay. She's definitely dead.
We did it!
It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Notice the small detail where we stabbed her?
It's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again, if we wanted to.
So if this was the rules for Geist, yes! The same murder weapon that killed you is the exact same murder weapon that you are always lethal to. Right?
This is true.
Alright, let's try it. Is the rules for Geist.
Without a moment's hesitation, you lash out with your blade. It's like you're slashing at air. No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
You're adorable when you're confused.
But I didn't say you could touch me.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
I die too, and I'm not floating around like you are. What happened? Why am I different? Why are you different?
You don't look dead, Killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride.
After all, you owe me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen.
It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place, and if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her.
Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
This would just be Tipper, right? You'll leave once we're out of the cabin?
If I'm able to. But for all we know, that's not how it works. Maybe I'll wind up stuck with you for a long, 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 long time.
Don't much like the sound of that. It's crowded enough in here as is. It could be the best way to trap her for good. Doesn't seem like it would be very easy to end the world from inside someone else's body.
That is a very dangerous train of thought.
Before I agree to I think the one I want to go with is if I let you in, I still get to be in control.
Sure, why not?
That doesn't sound very reassuring.
I can't believe you're even entertaining her right now. I mean, just look at her. Do you think she has good intentions for her murderer's body? Of course she doesn't.
Alright, sounds great. Let the princess possess you.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
Thanks for the body, killer.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul.
I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over?
I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Get up. You've still got a job to do.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
She hears the
It
voice.
doesn't work like that for you?
Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor? Are they also supposed to be you?
Shards
Hey,
of broken
I'm not a
glass.
shard of broken glass. I'm...
Yeah? Go on. Finish the thought. What are you?
I'm a voice? I'm me is what I am.
Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
Do you have to deal with this annoying bickering all the time?
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too.
I'm clearly the same thing you are.
Hopefully they'll all go away once we leave this place. I don't know how you can tolerate all of this noise.
I don't know. It's just Twitch
I'm not
chat.
talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
So you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
Oh, shut up. Stop trying to manipulate everyone. Or don't, actually. It doesn't really matter. Because you won't be around to do this for much longer.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
You know you want me to click it, don't you?
It is tempting.
I shall.
That's an interesting idea. I hadn't even considered it as an option. Slaying her would slay you. Are you sure you're willing to do that? Of course we're sure. The decision has already been made. All right then. Better this than ferrying her out of here.
What do you think you're doing?
Hear that? She's scared. No point wasting more time.
Do it.
You lift the blade, then plunge it deep into your guts. Pain spreads quickly through your torso as you attempt to turn its edge up towards your heart. The princess, her spirit bound to your prison of flesh as she had once been bound to the basement's prison of stone, cries out in agony as you slice through organ and muscle.
No!
Your skin roils and bucks as she violently pushes against it from the inside. Bits of her seep through, white and glowing with ethereal light, but still the walls of your prison hold.
Who do you think you are, trying to take me out with you? Well, I'll show you. I can do worse than that little knife. It's not you taking me out. It's me taking you out. I'll tear this body to shreds.
Wouldn't that be interesting? I'd like to see you try. But I think this is the end for all of us.
I said I'm leaving, you cold little freak.
You feel a violent tear, like the shape that you thought was you was never really a single shape to begin with. Something in the space you occupy has decided to leave, and it has brought you with it. You have been stripped away from yourself, or stripped away from something that used to be you, or stripped away from something that used to be important. At the very least, you have been stripped away from something. It always hurts to forget at first, but then you forget the pain.
Do you think we're done, you self-destructive murderer?
The words come from both inside and outside of your head. Before you, on the ground, is a writhing mass of flesh and scales and feathers. Is that me? I didn't... is that what I look like?
Oh, you're here. Great. Maybe you'll finally get to feel what it's like to be me. And yeah, that's you, or what's left of you. What an ugly sight. I'm willing to pretend that you didn't just stab yourself to spite me, but don't think I've forgotten a thing. This is an alliance of convenience.
Gurgling liquid bubbles up from open pockets in the disintegrating mass in front of you. Is it trying to speak? But it no longer has the tissue that speech requires.
Wait, maybe this still counts as leaving together. Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
But what about the body? What about me?
What about it? It's dying and filled with the worst parts of you. Let's just go.
You are seated in a room that is empty. A chain digs into your wrist, binding one arm to the wall. It is quiet and you are alone. This is what you deserve. 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 This is what you deserve.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
No TV and no beer makes Homer go
Honey.
something something. This is what you deserve.
Well, are you still there?
I'm still here.
That's something. I guess we're really stuck together then.
Okay, good. No more of that. So I knew that this was one of the pristine cut endings, and I knew that this one sort of breaks the trend of like what all the other endings do. So, yeah. You're not mad at me, are you?
Like I said, we have an alliance of convenience right now. I wouldn't poke too hard at the edges of that.
You're different. Your whole mood is different.
Poking at the edges when I specifically told you not to? We're both stuck here, and everything started over. How about we both just try and make the best of it, okay? Besides, there's something about you being in here with me that just feels right. It's hard to stay mad at you like this.
Let it go, just like she has. Sorry I stabbed us.
Well, I guess you're paying the price for it, aren't you? Let's just call it even for now.
How are we supposed to get out of here?
Are you seriously asking me that? I've been stuck here for as long as you've known me. I don't think the two of us would be here right now if I knew how to leave.
If we're both here, then what happened to the others?
There's 4 walls around us and a chain around my wrist. How am I supposed to know about anything that isn't right in front of me? Maybe they're gone. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And if nobody comes by, well, I guess we'll be waiting a long, long time.
Are we still a ghost? Your gaze turns to your hands, solid, then translucent, then solid again.
Huh. I don't know. It's like we're one and then the other. Make up your mind already, body, will you?
What are we supposed to do? Just wait for something to happen.
Have any better ideas?
There has to be something for us to do other than wait.
You already said that.
Now that I think about it, both times I've been here, nothing happened until after I saw a title card. We haven't seen a title card yet. Hey Sandry, the title cards were diegetic. What does that make
I
you
don't know,
think?
you can take pills for that.
A title card? What on earth are you talking about?
No, this is stupid. You're gonna laugh at me.
Whether I laugh at you depends on the title. I'm not going to make any promises I can't keep. I don't lie.
The princess doesn't lie, eh? If I'm going to tell you, you have to promise you won't laugh at me.
Okay, fine. I promise I won't laugh at you. Now tell me. I want to know.
The first one I got said Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess, and then after we both died, I got Chapter 2, The Spectre.
Okay, sorry.
You promised you wouldn't laugh at me.
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at... I was laughing at the whole situation. But really, it's like our lives are some cruel little play for someone else's entertainment. I'm sorry, okay? Chapter 3. The Princess and the Dragon.
So the first chapter was chapter The Hero and the Princess. This is chapter 3, The Princess and the Dragon. The Princess and the Dragon? I thought I was maybe some sort of bird.
I like to think of you as a dragon. It's close enough.
The click of a latch and creaking hinges. Muffled something is here.
I think that's you.
You gaze, turns back to your hands. They flicker once again.
We're still a mess. It's like you don't really know what we are.
A thump on the floorboards above, and then another, scraping of metal against the surface. The flickering in your body stops. You are solid.
So, you took the knife. Of course you did.
Creaking hinges once again, but this time clear, closer. Hello? But you say nothing.
I'm the one in control here. You don't get to put words in my mouth.
Movement on the stairs.
You're always so loud on the way down.
Sandry, that's what we fucking look like. I'm just gonna pause the auto progression to give you a chance to look at this.
That's a lot more impressive than I thought.
Yeah, that's what we look like. And then a figure emerges, surrounded in a feathered darkness, the world trailing behind it. Its shining blade gleaming against the wooden walls. It stares at you with wild, hollow eyes. What in the hell am I?
The dragon, obviously.
What do you want to do?
Let's see. You're missing something important, aren't you?
The head on the figure cocks to the side. Is it inquisitive, suspicious, hostile? Its emotions are unreadable.
I know, because I have it right here.
The silence holds. Am I arguing with myself in there? Has that always happened in real time? You know you want to know the answer to this question, Sandry, don't you?
I do.
So that's what's going on with all that silent staring.
So yeah, the princess just confirmed. Every time we're sitting there listening to our voices, we're just like real time just listening to all the voices in our head.
Hey, I'm talking to you. It's rude to have a conversation in front of other people without letting them in on it.
Oh, you would like to hear what we're thinking, wouldn't you?
What voice do you think that one is?
That sounded like the narrator.
That's not the narrator.
Wait. Sounded like him.
They all sound like the narrator, to be fair. Because they're all voiced by the same person.
Yeah.
But it did, you know, that is, I think, the voice of the Contrarian?
Maybe.
He raises the blade above his head, dangling it by the handle in front of his eyes.
But I think we hold the power right now.
Yeah, no, that does sound like the Contrarian.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows about the Decider being gone. That would be a weird bluff to come up with if it weren't true.
Which voice?
I'm gonna go with the hero.
Okay.
Look, I love that you're trying to contribute, but I think we need to take a little sidebar. But I don't want to do it. I'm so sorry. This will just be a moment.
Silence as the mind in front of you falls back into itself.
Unbelievable.
Right? How rude.
Yeah, this isn't over yet. 1 second. Hey, I'm talking to you?
My apologies. They're really being quite dull in here.
Which voice?
That sounds like the cold.
Yeah. But this is I could tell you're at least slightly intrigued in this one. At least the way it's going. More silence.
I think they want to kill you. At least the new one does. He's very, very passionate about it.
Oh, wait. I know which voice it is. It's not the contrarian. I thought it was one we heard before, but it's not. He's the voice of, well, I'll let it play out.
Well, he can try if he wants, but I'm not so sure you all have it in you. Not without your missing piece.
Nah, but that just makes it 2 birds with 1 stone, doesn't it? How tempting.
Do you think you can figure out what voice it is? It's not contrarian. I do know that.
From what I remember, it's pretty easy to kill you the first time around. And this time you're back to being very... What's the word?
What's the word?
Fleshy.
Ooh, cold.
Yes, exactly. That's precisely the word I was looking for. You're fleshy now. No more of that incorporeality. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think it would be easy.
Bring it then. But you caught me off guard the first time. It's not going to happen again.
Well, what can I say? I'd back off if I wasn't already overcommitted, so I guess I'll just have to pretend that you're bluffing. Which you maybe, probably are.
Having second thoughts?
Notice the only voice we've yet to hear is the narrator.
Shut up.
You can feel yourself shrink and then grow. Vacillating between small and large, weak and powerful, as the thing in front of you attacks, blaze raid and wings spreading.
Before anything happens, I just wanted to let you all know that we are not all on board with this. Now, we voted. It was not a majority decision. But we did have a plurality.
We did have a plurality. Oh, God.
He shouldn't count.
Who do you think he is in this situation?
Well, presumably the narrator.
Says who? Says me. He's not one of us. He's been here since the beginning. The old chum really deserves to say. Besides, you'll all thank us when this is finally over and we are officially on top. But enough chatter. Oh, so you've finally decided to do something, have you?
Silence for just a moment as cold eyes regard you. And then silence still as soft eyes hesitate. But the hesitation doesn't last, and you feel the sharp sting of cold metal sliding deep into your chest. But you can feel something else, too. Rage flowing from your heart and balling up in closed fists. You throw them at the thing's face, and...
You can feel bone crack as her fist collides with your jaw, and then a thud as you tumble across the room. You are such a disappointment. I'd like to see you do better. The princess rips the blade from her chest and, fury in her eyes, cuts herself loose from her bindings.
Wait, I'm back in my body. Stop. You getting stabbed switch me back.
Oh, you're different. You're back, just as I intended. I was never cut out for leadership, really.
Then I just have to make this next one count.
As she closes the distance, she raises the blade to strike and kills us. Well, she certainly stabs you, and it certainly hurts. But the knife doesn't leave your body. As you grab her wrists, she drives the weapon deeper and deeper into your chest. Your knees buckle from the pain, and as she forcefully pushes you to the ground,
You are torn between two places.
I'm taking you back.
You are... Okay, by the way, this is not going the way I thought it would go. There's another way to end it where both of you leave together, but holy shit. Okay, you are power and you are weakness. You are hope and you are despair. You are acceptance and you are rejection. You are the canvas and you are the painter. You are the victim and the victimizer. You are life and you are death. The hero and the princess and the dragon.
don't let us die here.
You slammed the door in your own face.
Don't let everything die here. You have to end this.
His words are empty, hollow echoes, the ravings of a ghost.
Please.
But he is already gone. The threads all tie themselves together in a loop that does not end.
Does this mean we're together?
You look at your hands, tattered and stained in memories.
Maybe. Why were we fighting each other?
You started it.
We needed something to do.
I guess we did.
To new beginnings!
Yeah, I'm about to say this earlier, by the way. The voice of the opportunist was the one that took us over.
Yeah, I gathered.
Do you feel cold?
Your peace does not last, nor can it ever. It is time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
We've been here before, and you always
It
get
feels
scared.
so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. If they think it's bad, I'm with them. You don't need to comfort them.
I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay.
If you say so. We'll trust you. Finally! We're going places. Whatever makes you happy.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've unraveled. You find yourself in the long quiet once again.
Is there a way to save here? Because it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I figure we'll do it until, like, we get back to chapter 1. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as we can do that relatively quickly.
You are at the cabin.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it.
Do you think there's anything real out there? Do you think that we're real?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Do you have thoughts on this vessel?
This one is perspectives bleeding into one. You know her better than you know yourself. She will make for an empathetic heart. Do not mourn her, for you would not mourn yourself.
That would be a really weird situation in which you could mourn yourself. I mean, because you always ask this, I'll ask this.
One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
All right, do you have any, or do any of these other questions intrigue you?
The voices one, that's interesting.
When you send me back, I am not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
So all of them are he does, but like there's different editions here.
I don't know what I'm going to do when I find him.
He does. I do not know what I'm going to do when I find him.
There's no need for you to know what you are going to do before you do it. If you find him, remember that I'll be waiting for you on the other side.
Any of these interest you?
I'm ready to go back. Actually, no.
Oh.
What'll happen when you awaken?
This one? Okay, do you know what's going to happen when you awaken?
Yeah.
If I did, I would already be awake.
Nope, I think that's it. Let's go back.
Okay.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Everything goes dark, and you die. And that's a good place to save. So, is it okay to? I'll ask this after I finish the.
And at the end of it, you're hit.
Yeah. Save. I'll just drop you. Yeah, you see the last time I played these. All right. As for everybody in Twitch land, thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Ciao, folks.
Yeah. Oh.